Okay, so now we're going to show you how to install a new chain. This is the chain that we repaired, got us back home, installed the master link, but now I want to do a new chain because obviously our chain was weak, it was either stretched or damaged, so now we're going to do a new chain on this bike. These are quick link pliers here. So now we're going to take the old chain off, so you can just kind of fish it backwards here. And I pulled out two chains here to kind of show you. I have a Shimano cassette with the Shimano rear derailleur, so I'm going to go with the Shimano chain. This is the SRAM chain, which I would use if I had SRAM components or a SRAM cassette and crank. The SRAM is you set this up the exact way as you did on a chain repair because it does come with a quick link. However, this model Shimano chain, you're going to need to push a pin through. So a little bit different. The Shimano, it's a little bit more difficult than this. You know, sometimes when you push the pin in, it can get stiff, so you have to kind of work it out if you don't have the right, insert it in the right depth. So now what we need to do is we need to fish our chain onto our bike so that we can size it correctly. A lot of the chains with Shimano are directional, however this one is not. On the directional Shimano chain, all the label will be on the outside, so you want that facing you when you're installing on the drivetrain. Now I'm going to fish the chain on here so that we can get the correct size. Now when you're sizing the chain, a brand new chain, whether it's a 2x10, a 3x8, 3x9, you're always going to go small. And the reason for that is you don't want your chain too long. Now if it's too short, you'll have problems on big bigs where you don't necessarily want to be in that ratio. However, if you are in small, you don't want your chain rubbing on your cage or bouncing around with a lot of slack. So I got fish through there. Now we're going to go through the derailleur again, bend the derailleur cage down, fish this guy through here. Again, down on the bottom jockey pulley. I always kind of turn this just to help guide it through. Pull the derailleur back. Now, so right here, if it was just to connect it right there and not cut the chain, way too loose. So what we're looking for here is we need to start to size this chain. So what I like to do is again have it small, pull this guy forward. So we have one, I like to call this male. I always call this type of the link or size, this style link as a female. So what we're going to do is pull the chain in, and again you want the chain tight, just enough where we have some room between the chain and the cage. If it's too loose, it starts to rub on the cage there, like so, and that's not good. So for this particular application, I feel that we need to cut the chain right here on this link. So you got your chain breaker here again. Gonna install on that link, so that's the one I think we need to cut or break. And we just need to push that pin. Now, I didn't push it all the way through, I just kind of set it up so it holds the chain together. So obviously you can see the chain's rubbing here. So we don't want that. That chain is too long. So what this calls for is we need to take another link out, and that's what I wanted to show you what to look for. So I took another link out, and this is what you want. You want just a little small gap here, and again I haven't pushed the pin all the way through, but just wanted to show you the spacing and what you're looking for on a properly sized chain for the bike. So now we got our chain size for the bike. Now we need to push our Shimano pin in. Just be careful and make sure that you have it lined up straight. You don't want to push the pin in crooked. It does require a little bit of force. And what you're looking for is when you're pushing the pin in, is it'll get tight and then it'll kind of free up once you have it in. Back it out. You want to check your link, make sure it's not stiff. It's a little stiff there. It's not too bad. We'll work on that in a second. So we got the pin in. So we got our pin pressed in. It's not stiff. Feels pretty free. That's good. So now we need to break this pin off. That's not good. If we try to go through, we'll catch it up in our derailleur. So what I do is I spin the crankset backwards, and we use the crank to hold the chain. Now you get your pin and pull down. So now we got our chain installed, size for the bike. We just want to double check our pin just to make sure we don't have any stiff or kink links. So that's the pin that we pressed into the new Shimano chain. So now that we have our pin and everything installed correctly, we just want to make sure that the link is not stiff. So loose there. If it is stiff, you can bend the chain towards you and away from you. And so a lot of times that frees up the link. However, this one, it's good to go. And one way to check is to go through your derailleur and cassette. If you see any hops or bumps or skips, that's usually a good indication that either you have an adjustment that's off. In this case, I'm checking it because we just installed a new chain and I don't want to see any hops or jumps because that would indicate on the chain that we got a stiff link, so we need to free that up. But this is good to go.